R.J. Fergus, and welcome to Hitters Baseball.
Back at the Hitters Academy. Want to introduce our next two guests with us. If you could just take the time and tell us who you are.
I'm Sam Weinbauer. I go to Waukesha West High School, and I play first base.
Okay.
I'm Johannas. I go to McGuanago High School. I'm from McGuanago, and I am a catcher.
I'm Matt Miller. I go to Ozaki High School. I'm from Fredonia, Wisconsin.
I'm Ethan Engelfried. I'm from Wind Lake, Wisconsin, and I go to Muskego High School.
I'm Mason Buss. I'm from Pewaukee, Wisconsin, and I go to Arrowhead High School.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'm Brady Banker, a left-handed pitcher from Antioch, Illinois, and I go to Carmel Catholic High School.
My name's Will Veerling. I'm a catcher. I go to Homestead High School in Mequon, Wisconsin.
My name's Gavin Keelan. I'm a shortstop from Milton High School in Milton, Wisconsin.
Hi, I'm Carson Pfluger. I play shortstop. I go to Franklin High School, and I'm committed to Parkland JUCO.
Okay, great. And?
My name is Eric Carlson, right-handed pitcher, and I play for Thornwood, and I'm committed to Carthage College.
Hi, I'm Tristan Ellis. I'm a senior at Greendale High School, and my hometown is Greendale.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Tristan Ott. I am a senior at Oconomowoc High School, and my hometown is Watertown, Wisconsin.
Michael Lippy. I go to Whitefish Bay High School. It's right by Milwaukee, and I play center field or outfield.
My name is Hayden Christensen. I go to Richmond Burton High School in Illinois. I'm a catcher, utility.
My name is John Ahler. I'm a middle infielder. I live in Algonquin, Illinois, and I go to school at Marion Central Catholic.
Okay, thank you.
My name is James Reese. I'm a right-handed pitcher. I live in Mequon, Wisconsin, and I go to the University School in Milwaukee.
Hi, I'm Jonathan, and I'm from Brookfield, Wisconsin, and I go to Brookfield Academy.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jonathan.
I'm Michael Zordani. I go to Arrowhead Union High School. I live in Oconomowoc now. I used to live in Illinois, and I'm a two-way.
I'm Dylan Moss. I live in Franklin, and I go to Franklin High School.
Jackson Eastland. I also go to Franklin High School.
Okay.
Heath Vinay. Go to Muskego High School, and also from Muskego.
I'm Robbie Roguska. I go to Greenfield High School, and I'm from Greenfield.
Here, it was a lot of
My name's Ian Che. I play middle infield. I'm from Mount Pleasant, and I go to Indian Trail.
All right, and you?
My name is Camden Jansen. I'm a middle infielder also. I'm from Racine, Wisconsin, and I go to Racine Lutheran High School.
Duncan. I'm an outfielder at Arrowhead High School.
Charlie Marion, outfielder at Franklin High School.
I want to talk about that. We're in the championship game, and you guys went down early. And the biggest thing that I took away from that moment, and it kind of speaks to the academy itself, is you guys never lost your composure. You kept going to the plate. You kept doing the same things. You stayed within yourself, and sooner or later, you got into within a rhythm. Yeah. And Michael Lippy came up with a big hit, and then you had the biggest hit of all that put you ahead by 2 runs. Excuse me, you win that championship. Can you talk about that approach, just kind of almost from what you've learned? And not only that, but almost like your team. It's just like you believed in yourselves and you came away with the win.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing of all that is that you have the skill to do it. You just have to believe. It's a mental thing. You just got to believe in yourself. But you can't get too high or you can't get too low. You kind of got to stay level. Because if your opponent sees your emotion, then they know that they're getting to you. So if you just keep your composure and you just believe that you can do it, then you're fine.
Where does that come from? Where does that start? Does it start with the coaches, and how much does it continue with your teammates?
RJ really instills that in us.
Okay.
He is always you just come. It's a job. You can have, and all good jobs you can have fun, and that's what we have here. We're playing baseball, we're having fun, but it's also a job, and you have a duty to do. And RJ instills that in us, just to complete the job and win the game.
Okay. Now, obviously, Will, for you, being from Mugwanago and both of you, Waukesha West, you're not close to here,
No.
So you've made a commitment to this program. And can you speak to that and what drew you here and what keeps you coming back?
Yeah, so what drew me here this summer, I was playing with Midwest Halos, and then fall came around, and I've been good friends with him for a while, and he texted me, he was like, hey, RJ wants you to play fall with us. I'm like, oh, great, let's do it, because this is like top team in the Midwest, top in Wisconsin for sure. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then I played my first tournament with them. I'm like, this is where I want to be. So I just kept playing through fall, and then came around winter, and like I know all the guys that come out here. I know it, good production, and they just like they do the right stuff and have good training. So that's kind of why I'm here training in the winter now.
I want to talk, Ethan. I want to ask, so last summer at the Big Row Memorial Tournament, you're on the white team, right?
Yep.
And you beat the Navy team.
Yep.
Talk about how important that is, because, you know, each guy I'm talking to, you're friends with everybody here, right? But there's friendly competition going on at play. So talk about that, the importance of having some of that those bragging rights from a big event like that.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun to have those bragging rights. You know, like, you know, you go strike out one of your teammates you talk to every weekend, and you know you're competing against them. It's really a pretty cool thing. You know, you don't have that anywhere else. It's only here. You're practicing with the same guys every weekend, and it's always competition. It's nice to actually go out and be able to do it on a big stage like that.
Okay, great. Matt, I want to ask you a little bit about your family connection. You obviously have a big league cousin, Owen Miller, that plays in the Indians organization. Your other cousin, Noah, was drafted in the first round, I think, by the Twins. Yep. So not only those two, but like Gavin Lux, Jared Kelnick, Alex Benellis, you know, a lot of guys have come through here. So many more that I didn't just mention. What do you learn from them? Because I know they come back here and they work out and they talk to you guys. What do you learn from them? What can you pick their brains from? Not just necessarily on the field, but just how much are things different at the next level? What do you do to prepare yourself for those opportunities?
Well, I just watch them, and then I do what they do, or like they teach me, they show me what to do, and I follow them because they're bigger and they made it, and we all have that dream, and they already made that dream come true.
Okay, I want to start with both of you guys because as we've just been talking about here, I have seen both of you pitch. I think it's interesting because I'm pretty sure every time I've seen you pitch, Brady, I want to say you followed Mason in like the pitching order. So if it was like a doubleheader, I'd see Mason pitch and then Brady pitch. What I found always fascinating watching you two of you pitch is that you're very similar in that the command aspect of your game is like a lot higher than most players your age. And I want to talk about how the two of you feed off of each other, because it's almost like a mirror image. You got a right-hander coming, you know, mid to upper 80s, commanding that fastball 3-pitch mix. Similar stuff for you from the left side. Right. So if we could start with you, Brady, just talking about following him, is there like an internal competition between the two of you? What do you do to raise the game and help your team win?
You know, that's a good question because we always will work out together, we'll throw together. It's almost like everything we do is together. So it's almost like we push each other to be better. And like we said, pitching on the same day usually, it also helps that. It's like, all right, he did well, now I have to do just as well.
Raises the bar.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, okay. And you, Mason?
Just like Brady said, we're always going out there competing. I always usually threw the first game, so I was going out there. I wanted to set the bar high and you know be the best pitcher out there. So yeah.
Let's start this atmosphere. You guys have been all over with both the hitters and for personal stuff. You know, like you've been at All-American games, you've been at like Area Code games, East Coast Pro, all those big national events for both personally as a team. Would you trade any of that for like these moments with your teammates indoors? It's 20 degrees outside here in Wisconsin, but you're indoors right now having a blast.
I would say no. I think the atmosphere in here is electric, would be my way of describing it. I think just overall, like, we've competed with each other for the last 4 years. We've been together since freshman year. You know, we made a commitment to playing with hitters in this team and growing as a group. I think overall we've done that. You know, we've got a lot of guys. Everyone's going to college and playing baseball somewhere after high school, which is pretty exciting. And I think overall, man, these moments are fun. I mean, being from a small town area, like all of us are from the Milwaukee. You know, I'm probably the farthest one that travels here from Milton, you know, Madison area. But you know, it's a little area with a lot of kids going somewhere special, and it's a good group of competitive kids. So I wouldn't trade this for the world.
Okay, feel the same way, Will?
I feel the exact same way. I mean, playing with these group of guys, it's always, like Adam said, it's electric. It's always competitive. It's just you have just so much fun. We really have a tight connection with this group of guys down here. I mean, we're always competing, fighting against each other, and it's it's a blast.
I mean,
It's so much
I
fun.
think you just heard the electricity when we're doing Will's at bat. Everyone was screaming and
Yeah.
everything. Like it gets like that in here, man. It's fun. It's competitive, and competitiveness brings greatness out of everyone. So it just makes us that much better for the high school season and anything else that we carry through after that.
Well, no, today we're here at the Hitters Academy, like I said. Just want to talk about your involvement with the program and just what it's done for your career and just kind of what you've carried, maybe even shared with some of your own teammates at your schools or other teams that you played for, and just the biggest impressions you have, what you want to take to that next level. Eric, I'm going to start with you. Working out here in the winters, playing in the spring league last spring. Obviously, we're living in a different world right now with the pandemic and everything like that. Talk about the opportunities it's provided you. Just off air, you just shared with me that it gave you the opportunity to throw like 40 innings in the spring before the summer even hit. Talk about the experience, how the importance of that, and just how it's allowed you to develop as a player.
Well, I don't think there's a better place in the Midwest. Like, I live in Chicago and I drive an hour every practice. I'm here, and I don't think there's any place better than the academy, honestly. And the coaching made me a lot better than any other place. Like, it really just took me to the next level.
Speak about that coaching specifically. Cody Wonnarski is one of the pitching coaches here.
Yeah, I would say Wonnarski, Durs, Dakota, and Bader.
Okay.
So it's a lot of people, get a lot of input, like, and then you just throw a lot. Like, these guys hit a lot, they field a lot, and we throw a lot, and everybody gets better. And we lift a lot too here.
And the competition too. It gives you a baseline.
Like, you won't find better competition in all of the Midwest, I would say.
Okay, Carson, how about for you? Just kind of similar background. Don't have a ton of years here, but now you do have the past year you've been spending with the Hitters program. What have you seen specifically about yourself and your game that has improved and kind of gone to the next level since you've been with the program?
Since I've been at the program, I just kind of like got like a bigger vision of really like the competition you're facing and how really good some of the players here are at Hitters. I would say the biggest impact this place has had on me is just being around the guys that are going to these big time schools. You can learn from them, you learn from the coaching, and I would say that really just helped me a lot to really improve, especially this off season compared to being at other programs and stuff like that.
I want to take that failure part of it is fascinating because obviously baseball, they always talk about is a game of failure, right? But you're talking about a developmental failure, like some stuff where you're actually struggling, right?
Yeah.
So, and talking through that process where it makes you mentally stronger because you've been through those low points, right? Now you're dealing with an injury.
Yeah.
So I want to expand on that, like just what specifically some of the things, because the coaches here aren't soft, right? They're gonna push. They're gonna demand more out of you guys. So, what have you specifically done maybe to get better, to get back onto that level where you can succeed?
Just working out, like pushing myself to the limits and stuff. Like in Oconomowoc, like my family had a sports facility called the Zone and stuff, and so they opened that in 2017, and then we don't have it anymore. But I would always just go in there and work out, just baseball, like hit, throw, and stuff. And then this last year, I just started lifting a lot. I was like, well, I'm not where I want to be at, obviously, so I gotta do something differently to try to be the best version of myself as possible, both like in baseball, out of baseball, and stuff. So I worked out a lot. So. And I think like that grind and stuff like that was just a lot that built me to like where I was and stuff.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for sharing that. That's great. I want to hear from you too, Tristan. Your own journey.
Well, I started playing like rec leagues, like what he did. Started playing around there, and then started playing for a select team called the Junior Popes, which merged with Six Tool when like it started getting bigger and bigger. And then I moved to the Rock Hounds. Then I moved to Prospects, PTA, and then I came here my freshman year, and when I like walked through this door, like it's all over the walls. I mean, like I wanted to be the next, I just wanted to be the next guy going to college and everything. So like with RJ's help and everything, that he made it happen. I mean, all the dedication that we did and all the hard work and all the failure we saw and everything just happened like that. So yeah, that's about it.
You're tenured players here with the Hitters Club. So being from Whitefish Bay, you've played with a lot of guys that have been in this Hitters program, like currently, in the past, and even coming up. Obviously the connection to Craig Council and all that brings. But what are some of your biggest takeaways being with the program? Because you've also experienced, you both have also experienced like national level competition. So you're able to kind of evaluate yourselves by watching your peers.
Yeah, for sure. So honestly, I feel like Hitters in general has prepared me the most for the next step, whether that's pro baseball or if that's college baseball. RJ pushes us mentally and physically every day. He tries to bring out the best in us. And I mean, ever since I was 10 years old, and when it was at the old facility before we had like this nice field and everything, it was just, he just pushed me, and he made me the player and even the man off the field that I am today, which is something I can I can always just thank him for. So yeah.
That's great. Hayden, how about you?
We have a lot of great teammates here. We have a lot of guys that want to play for us. I think that the huge thing with Hitters is the camaraderie between everybody. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we have two different teams, but every single time we play together, it feels like we have one. Everybody's so close. I mean, we all push each other, like Lippy said, all the time on and off the field to be the best player and the best person possible. And it just means a lot to, have that kind of connection with our teammates.
You talk a little bit, talk about the camaraderie. Obviously lost Big Roe Coleman the past year, so that was a big blow to the program. Can you each share maybe an experience that you had with Roe that impacted your life?
I would say the most impactful, I actually have two, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please do, yes.
The first one was when I was a freshman, and we weren't doing that well, and he called me and some other teammates into his room, and that's the first time I actually had a really serious conversation with him about not only the team but about just our baseball career in general. And the second one I would say is during my sophomore year when I wasn't playing due to an injury, that he called me and he checked up on me pretty much every other week, and it was just something really special because I created such a good bond with him, and he still means something to me today, and I know he's just always with me.
You're going to always carry that with you, too. That's great. Great. Hayden?
Yeah, I have a lot of memories with Roe. Helped me through a lot of things mentally, I'd say. One of the biggest things for sure was we were at Nash Park, playing down there, and you have so many things going on. I struggled in the box a little bit, and you can tell I was a little uptight, so he comes running after me and my parents in the parking lot, yelling, he's like, all right, one thing that you guys gotta make sure that you learn is just that you need to be a motherfucker on the field. You know what I mean? He's like, you gotta play with an attitude that you just gotta beat everyone else. You know what I mean? So that's something that every single time I step on the field, I try to be, I try to be that guy that's pushing on myself and playing as hard as possible as a beast mode.
We wanted to cross paths had you not had this common connection here, and just talk about that kind of relationship built through baseball here at the Hitters Academy.
Yeah, so I personally came into Hitters baseball around my sophomore year, and I think my earliest memory is just being a lifting partner of James, and through Tuesdays and Thursdays and then Saturdays, of course, we after growing a bond of just lifting every day together, partnering up for the 2 hours that we would lift for. It's just one of those things where a bond.
30-minute drive for you, 30-minute drive for you. You didn't sign up just to try to figure this out from home. Yeah. So you're putting in the time to get better, and just talk about that. Just your time commitment. Jonathan, we'll start with you. And how you've gotten involved in this program.
This program has definitely helped me with helping me work hard and improve on that, and just coming here every day is big. And yeah, so yeah, for sure. RJ's helped a lot, and he's pounded us into us working hard, coming here every day, and seeing everybody else compete too helps us motivate each other, and seeing all those older alumni too motivates me to strive for that as well. And
yeah, so no, I was just going to jump in, for you physically, you're a different player now than you were a year or two ago.
Sure.
And so that didn't happen by accident.
No, it's definitely from working hard every day, coming in here, and yeah, just working with these guys too helps a lot. And keeping us in check and like keeping everybody coming and stuff like that. So.
And talk about that, because you both reference each other now, like the friendships that you've built. You're not high school teammates. You may have never met each other had it not been for this connection here at Hitters. But you're putting in that time and commitment together. You're spending time in the vans together, traveling to Georgia, Florida, Missouri, wherever to play more and more baseball. So talk about the relationships you've built and just how important that is to you.
Yeah, I feel like it's easy to connect with each other because we all share the same goals.
Sure.
So it's easy to work harder and then keep everybody in check. And so, yeah.
Michael, just kind of same for you with the relationship side of things?
When you first come here, you don't know anyone. You kind of have to build that, like, trust, like going to a new school. It's all about finding people, meeting the right people. Here, it seems we have a really good bunch, so that was pretty easy. And, they help you when you're in trouble and things go south. They're there for you. If you just want to hang out with them. If you're just bored, they're there. Or if, you need something else.
Almost lead by example. Is that something that is kind of in the back of your head at all times, is just how to play this game the right way?
Yeah, I think RJ teaches us how to compete a lot, and we can bring that there and kind of teach everyone that maybe hasn't been in an environment like this to how you play and how you go about things. So.
Okay, similar for you, Jackson?
Yeah, and I think another big thing is just even starting with the basics, like warming up. You can see guys that here we take a lot of time doing stuff like that to get ready to play. And I feel like in high school it's not really like that sometimes, so I feel like we could take that knowledge there and help those guys out.
You guys joined this team when you were grade schoolers. So, that not just grade schoolers, but if I'm doing my math right, that's pretty early in your grade school career.
Yeah, it was when we were, 10?
Yeah, 10.
Yeah, that's pretty early on to commit. So obviously coming from where you do to play, you're putting in a lot of time and commitment to this, having an indoor event even today, competing with now friends, and I'm sure you consider it's kind of like your extended family. You both play with the white team, and I bring that up because I want to build up to this where you played the Big Row Classic last summer. And as the white team, you guys beat the Navy team at that event, had the opportunity to play them in the championship game. Can you speak to that, just the pride that you felt that day?
Yeah, it was a good day for sure. We were all firing on all cylinders. We thought we had a good pitcher out there with Ethan, and he showed it. He showed his stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good day all around. The energy was there the entire day, and even though it was a later in the day game, we still brought the energy and we made it happen.
I talked to a few of the other Franklin High School teammates, of which there's 5 of you here today. And one of the questions I'm kind of curious is with all of you competing and playing in this hitters program, you have the opportunity to go back to your high schools and even talk amongst yourselves, even when you play other teams in competition, where you have experiences, even if it's not spoken. I'm sure you notice things that are different and how you handle yourselves because of your experiences here compared to other players. Would you agree with that? And can you think of anything specific that you can point to?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything specific, but it's just I feel like it's kind of how we carry ourselves. It's a different, we don't need to talk about we're this or rank this or it's kind of you feel like wearing the brand is enough. Where being able to be on the team, that's enough. You don't need to do any more talking. It speaks for itself.
I think, guys, both of you, one of the most impressive things I see when RJ shared some information, and I've been following your careers a long time, you've both been with the Hitters program for 11 years. That's a long time. Both 17, 18 years old, right? Mm-hmm. So, you've been playing for a great deal of your baseball career. I want to start that off by just your favorite memory. And it doesn't need to be on the field. It could be off the field. It could be from a van trip or a hotel room with a roommate, just whatever it is. And Camden, I'll start with you. What's your favorite memory?
Probably my favorite memory, looking back at, all the stuff that I've done with hitters, was at Nash Park, beating Navy. That was a pretty big thing for us, especially because, all winter long, we're just inside just dueling it out, and then to like have it come full circle and beat them in our own tournament. We both made it, so it was just kind of nice, and it was just fun for I think both teams. But it was obviously a big deal for us to to win it.
That was at the Big Row Memorial Classic last July.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That was fun to watch, by the way. So, Ian, what's your favorite memory?
My favorite memory, probably this last. I think it was in the fall. We were down in Iowa. We were in the van. We were trying to get some food at Culver's, and then we couldn't get food because the line was too long, so we were gonna go somewhere else. And then RJ tried pulling the van out, and he had the big trailer on back, so it was a hassle. And then this truck was coming in, and then like wouldn't let RJ through, and there was just this big argument going back and forth.
I think both of you guys have been here for 7 years with the Hitters program. Does that sound right to you? About 7 years?
Yep.
So I think first and foremost, you're among, like, I guess we call the elder statesmen as far as experience go with the program. You've been not only like the high school years, but the middle school years, and trying to do my math correctly, it may even go back a little younger than that too. So through all of that, you're putting in the time, you're putting in the commitment, they're putting in the time and commitment to you. What are some of I want to start with your favorite memories. So it could be on the field, off the field, in the van, whatever. It could be an event. And then I want to tell you like the biggest takeaway you've had for yourself as a baseball player, how you've grown. We're going to start with your favorite memory, and I'll start with you, Charlie.
Okay. Honestly, my favorite memory was when we were in fall ball. We won at Grant Park. It was like freshman year, I think, or sophomore fall. It was like a really big tournament, like with a lot of good teams. Some of the kids were on CSA, like some of the best hitters kids. So some of the white and navy kids that won that was a big thing for us.
Okay. And you, James?
Yeah, I was actually going to say the same thing. I was a part of that team. That tournament we really weren't, expected to win because Canes Midwest and, of course, with CSA being there and Indiana Bulls and, our hitters team, we didn't have all of our best guys, so we weren't really supposed to be there or win. And, when we won the thing, it was like a really big deal, and we took a lot of pride in that and winning it.
I'm with Travis Cox. You served as the coach for the white team of the 2022 players. There's two teams. There's the Navy and there's the white. You served as the coach for the white team. I want to start with the most obvious question because it was a big deal. Last summer at the Big Row Memorial Classic, over 4th of July weekend, you coached your white team to a championship over the Navy team. Just the simple fact that both teams made the championship game was a big deal, and obviously coming out on top. The most obvious question is, how proud were you of your guys and your team to not only win, but to beat, their friends and what essentially is their teammates on that day?
Yeah, so that day, it was kind of, I guess, nostalgic in a way because, Roe was, rest in peace to him. He's the reason that I joined Hitters. He's the one who kind of told me I should come up here and join the organization. So for us to win that first tournament, I was the coach of that team, meant a lot. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be where I'm at this point as a coach without him giving me this opportunity to be here. So I want to thank him on that and again, rest in peace. But for us winning that tournament that day, it goes back to when I first got them as 15-year-olds. So that's kind of where they started to branch off into being the Navy and the white team. And, some of the guys on my team were kind of upset they weren't on the Navy and they kind of had that going on, felt they should have been on the Navy, out there on the white, that stuff like that. So I think at that point, that was a moment where they kind of, and I think they were starting to get that anyway, they kind of established the feeling of that they can hold their own, that they as good as anybody else, you know what I'm saying, despite Navy, white, that was kind of their moment, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Kind of like that punch in the face, you wanted us, you put us on the second team, quote unquote, but we should have been on the first team. I kind of feel like that was their moment of to establish that, you know what I'm saying, and kind of prove to them that they can hold their own with anybody else. So.
Pitching coach Cody Wonnarski, thank you for joining me. Nice to be inside today.
Yeah.
You're having this little workout going on, so I want to talk a little bit Hitters baseball and just your involvement. Obviously, this 2022 group, of which there's two teams, which is kind of a rarity, is a pretty special group. And why don't you start there? Your experience with this team, the relationships you've built, maybe not necessarily against or for relationships you had in the past. Let's talk how special of a unit this is.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this group's been with us since, I think some of them were 6, 7 years old. So, and they've stuck together, which is a little abnormal, I would say, just in terms of travel ball in general. People move, a lot of interchanging. But we've had a good group, and we even knew from early on, like, this group was pretty special. Not just talent-wise, but some of the intangibles, just in practice, it's very competitive. It's not boring, even as a coach, to watch the practice. So it's very enjoyable on that end. They push each other very, very well. And I think it obviously shows in the level of play that they are at now. And like I said, we knew that since they were 10, and they did their first year together. So very special group.
All right, Patrick Ebert here at the Hitters Baseball Academy, here with Tim Schultz, one of the coaches. Tim, thanks for joining us. Want to talk a little bit about just your experiences. This is obviously a pretty special group. You've had a chance to coach these guys for quite some time. One thing with hitters, if you're watching this and you don't know, you now drop back down and you start with a younger group, and you're going to follow that group through their high school years. And you've done that with these 2022s on the Navy side. So you've had a chance to spend a lot of time, a lot of travel. I guess with that in mind, what are your biggest takeaways? What the sense of pride? What are some of the things you know just from knowing these kids?
I think the biggest thing is watching these kids grow up, become young men and adults. They came on, little skinny 14, 15-year-olds that, came along for the ride, didn't really know what to expect, didn't know how to handle their money. Mom and dads were always there. You put them in the van. Next thing you know, we have 18-year-old men, ready to move on in life, and found the weight room, learned to manage their money, and took care of themselves. That's the biggest thing, is watching these guys grow up and become men is probably the best part about it.
And almost every single one is a college commitment. I mean, that has to feel pretty good that you're sending, you're sending them off to college in a way. So
right. It's hard work. I mean, they put the work in. They came in here, upstairs here. You kind of saw a little bit earlier. I mean, are they having fun? Yeah, but they worked their butt off. They worked hard. They knew what it took to get to where they wanted to be, and they stayed hungry. They weren't ever complacent and happy with where they're at. And now we got guys chasing some draft money, and that's what it's all about. It's keep getting better and working hard.
All right, Patrick Ebert here with RJ Fergus, the founder, owner of Hitters Baseball Club in Caledonia, Wisconsin, just south of Milwaukee, north of Racine, Wisconsin. We are inside on a day where it's, 20 degrees outside, playing ball with your 2022 crew, which long been identified as one of the more, special group of guys.
Yeah.
And why don't you talk a little bit about the evolution of the 2022 class here in Wisconsin?
Well, I think the easiest way to really look at how the 2022's evolved is it's a program that probably 30 of them have been in here since preteen, or 12, we'll say 12 years old. And they just started working, but they went through, as little kids, seeing the evolution of Lux and Rortvet and Miller, Turchin, Stevers, Lackney, that whole group of guys that went in the draft, and started making some money. Jack Blumgren, in the groups that had preceded them, and they were young, so they were in. Also, they're really like the first class per se that grew up in this place. Mm-hmm. We have a few of the Lippies of the world and the Choys, Jansons, the Vennies, and those guys. They started at the old place, but we've been here now. This is our 8th winter, so they virtually grew up here. If you back it up 8 years from 18 years old, they've been here probably since they were, in their 11-year-old season.
Yeah.
So I think that made a big difference in them in being able to compete and things that way. But when they would come in here, I remember when they would come in and ask if they could come in as a group, and they would sit up here and watch the practice of the 2016 and 2015 grads. That was big, for me to see, the 11 and 12-year-old kids just wanted to come in on a Sunday and watch it, if it was okay to watch them practice.
Right.
So I think that kind of was what offset them. And then you get to the advantage of the inner pieces of that class and how much they competed against each other. Because it was like the first true class that we had where we had two teams. You know, everyone wanted to be on the Navy team, and guys didn't want to be on the white team, and back and forth, but they all wanted to be part of hitters. So that made, and there were some guys that went back and forth, played on the Navy, then next year they were on the white and things that way. You know, but they were really happy to be part of what we do here. Then the weight room came into effect with them, and it started to turn around and how strong can I get? As you can see today, look at the physicality on. It's pretty impressive. You know, I mean, they look like college kids.
Yes, they do.
You know, and they could throw weight around, you know, with the best of them. We have a thing that we started with them when they were freshmen in high school. We call it 100 pounds stronger in 20 weeks. So in essence, on their Olympic lifts, we'll test them to start, and then in 20 weeks they become 100 pounds stronger, and that's, you take a 5-pound weight or a 2.5-pound weight on each side of the bar as you go up through the winter, and after 20 weeks you're at your 100 pounds. And it's held true. You know, 80% of them became 100 pounds stronger through the winter, you know, through the winters of, you know, the 3 winters or 4 winters here. So that's been the big difference, you know, outside of just competing against each other. You know, you got the field in here in the wintertime, you're facing 90-mile-an-hour guys on a consistent basis, so you leave to go elsewhere. You know, it's not going to be much different.
Yeah.
We're really lucky with this class, even though that things didn't really work out how we had wished. We were one of the first teams from the Midwest to be invited to the Cary, North Carolina for the Team USA U16 event, and that was on the tail end of us being invited to Wilson Premier as freshmen and winning that event in the summer, which is, you know, one of the big highlights. And you know, you get to those events, you know, along with the numerous events that they've won in Iowa and, you know, Georgia.
Yep.
You know, with some of the PBR stuff, you know, along the way. And then in that class too, you got, you know, hopefully down the line we'll see what happens if it can match with the 16 class in draft money. You know, and that 16 class was pretty special with the guys, you know, and the money that they signed. You know, you're looking about $6 million in that class. You know, then if you mix with the guys that all played together, you obviously get a little more, but we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, when you know, you have to wait till college is done and things that way, and seeing if they can match up with the 2015 and 2016 class. You know, with 10 or more guys, you know, drafted to play pro ball.
Right.
And that's pretty good from a local standpoint, where everyone has to come to practice.
Yeah, absolutely. And these kids are putting a lot of their time in. And the one thing from everything you say, you know, I think about this facility. I saw where you guys used to be, which was still a great facility for what it was, right? And it gave these kids the opportunity. You raise the bar, and you think about these, even like your involvement with social media, the weight room that you've put in downstairs, the cages that you have up here, a full-size infield. When you guys are going and playing these teams from the South, and you're punching them in the face, like, and they don't see it coming, like, there's got to be something, like, you feel pretty good about that. And you're even your players have said, each one of them to me, it was just, they love to compete, but they love to compete with each other and against each other the most, you know, just because of how much time that they've put into that. And that's got to make you feel pretty good about where they're all at.
Yeah, how we set it up, so they can do, obviously, 4 hours on a Sunday, you know, every Sunday, that's a lot of time for them. But it's not a crazy expense towards their parents. You know, the Saturday team lift is free. If you come up and do the hitting and then you do the throwing, you know, you're looking at, you know, lucky to be $40 a week, you know, and that includes the lift. You get speed work on Tuesdays, you know, with our trainers that, you know, Hitters pays for the kids. So it enables, like, a local, you know, a kid that's local or dedicated to it to be in here 6-7 days a week, and it's affordable to their parent, and then it's also they're here long enough. The minimum time that they would be here is 2 hours. So we have a lot of kids that are here at 4 o'clock and home by 6:30. Get their homework done, have dinner. The next day they're back in here at 4. And then those kids that have stayed on that that are on that program are, most of the Division I commit guys we have. That consistently push, or their parents understand it a little bit. The savings. The biggest thing is the affordability of college. For some of them, even if they got a 50% scholarship, isn't affordable for the parents. So they've actually worked a little bit and got a little bit more money. And it's an affordable thing with the student loans and stuff that are out there now. But just the work and the hard work, man, that this class has put in over the last 4 years has been really special.
Yeah.
When I took them over, and it gets a little hard here, but when we took the 2022 grad class over, it was right after Ro and I had just got done with the Jacob Campbells and the Jared Kelnicks of the world.
Yep.
The kids that are, Jared's obviously in the big leagues, Campbell's starting catcher at Illinois, and then it comes on the back ends of the Blumgren, Ryan Horter, those players, Lindemann, Dragani, and Boobin, and the class that we had really good success with at the 2017 class. So the first thing that Ro said to me was, man, I don't know, man, if I can coach 15-year-olds. I said, Ro, we got some talent. I'll have to see for my eyes. So what we did is we had to work out in here. Ro was sitting up here, and then he started getting excited. And for Ro to get excited, with the talent that had just left, he says, man, we got some stuff we can work with here. And they just started believing and buying in. And, anytime you got, with the Navy team, you had Vierling and Christensen as the catchers. On the white team, you had Venny and Kyle Smith, who wasn't able to make it today, but they handled the pitchers, man, and they were good behind the plate. Then you got middle infielders that, you got AHLER, Jansen, Ellis, Choi, Killen, Voigt, Miller, Flugar. They all got college money. So you're looking at just the middle of it. You got six, 7 guys in the middle, and outfielders are the same. So it's just been good, And then the pitchers, obviously, they stayed with the belief in what we do. They learned how to pitch at 81, 82 miles an hour. Came in 77, 78, athletic, and then learned how to pitch a little bit. Because we can see it at the Division I level. The guys are winning at 88 to 91 too.
Yep.
You don't got to be the hard rocket thrower. I watched the Texas-Alabama game yesterday, and neither guy, the starters were both dominating, but neither guy was above 92. The relievers came in and did that. So you start to get them to believe if you're 77, 78, and you're topping at 80 the fall of your freshman year, you go through the winter, we get 4 to 5% a year, and it holds true. The Mason Busses, the Brady Bankers, of the world were 82 to 83 miles an hour, topping out as freshmen, 85, 86 as sophomores, 87, 88 is their junior year.
Yep.
And it holds true. Some get a little harder. And then, now, Bus is 91, 92. So it all falls into place. Just follow the program and trust what's happening, and the parents did, and the kids did, and Cody's done a great job with the arms. But they learned how to pitch, not learned how to throw, and I think that's a big thing in today's day and age of all the velo and the crazy velo stuff, is to be able to throw balls and when you want, and strikes when you want, and to understand that the win is still the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not how I did in that inning, it's how did I win the game. Cody was really, really, really big with the kids on being able to maintain their velo for 90 pitches. He says, we may not be able to throw the hardest, but our guys are going to maintain their velo for 90 pitches, and that has held true. You know, so in the 7th inning or the 6th inning, you know, they're still 87 to 89, you know, things that way, still dominating the game the 3rd or 4th time through the order.
Right.
So that's been good. Outside of that, it'll be really hard-fetched to you know, in my time that's left to find a group that was like that group. You know, the Van Rants, the kids that parents never went for 4 years, man. I mean, the times that we had in the van, and you know, the kids that did, you know, travel with their parents all the time, but still hung out with the kids.
Yep.
You know, so it just keeps on going on and on and on. But it's special, and I'm really so proud of. They accomplished their goal of getting school. You know, for all of them. You know, all the guys got their school.
Yeah.
We had a couple guys
impressive.
that got their school and then lost their school and got it back, and some are still searching for that. But at one point, they were recruited, and then obviously if things don't work out, it's pretty tough sometimes to bounce back. But it's been good. It's been incredible, and we got 2 more practices left. The Illinois guys obviously are done today because their high school starts tomorrow. But it's been fun. I mean, a lot of back and forth, about a lot of relationships we'll have with these kids forever. But one thing that you turn to in what we do here is, okay, how do we get that next class? Because I dropped down to the 25 grads now. You know, how do I get them ready? How do I get them to the level of the 2022s? You know, which we got a few guys that'll turn some heads. And
Well, you even said yourself with Rowe, you know, being up here watching this class, the 2022s, that he wasn't sure if he was ready to drop back down to 15.
Right, it's going to be, but I've been with him in the winter, and we'll see.
Right.
You know, we're starting to wear on each other a little bit, but I don't give up on them. I mean, I'm not going to stop telling them what they're, you know, our way of doing things, because our way has been successful, and I don't think it's fair to them if I change how I do things because they don't like the way I do it.
Right.
You know, but you know, we'll get it figured out.
I want to ask you about the big row before we wrap up. Could that have ended any better? I mean, having both those teams playing in that championship and having the white team come on top.
I mean, that brought about everybody chills, man. And I don't know how it happened. I mean, it was. I mean, the first year of the big row, and here's you know the 40 players between the two, or 39 players between the two teams playing in the championship of the big row, and all the teams that they had to go through to get to that. As you know, that is one heck of an event. You know, as far as the competition end, or just to get to the final.
Yep.
You know, and then the white team to beat the Navy team, man. I mean, God, for those kids. You know, and Travis, you know, how far he's brought those guys. But, you know, that's how it is. You know, it's just an incredible season of them competing against each other. That it didn't matter who they were playing against, because what they saw during the winter months in the indoor and here, whether it was pushing the sleds and the lifting and competing each other for that, and one player thinking that he's better than the other guy that got his college. It's just how it is.
Right.
But they're at the end of the day, they're all friendships, and they all respect each other. You know, didn't have any fights, any fuck you kind of thing back and forth. You know, we had, you know, a little bit here and there, but it's been really good. It's been really special.
It felt like it kind of epitomized that journey that they all experienced together that they're all like there. And I wasn't there for the championship, but just covering that event where you see the talent level and then you see how it all transpired. I mean,
Right,
I think I don't think you could have captured that in a more perfect way.
No,
especially like this is your friend, right? You lost your friend the past year, the Big Row Classic, and you mentioned him and his involvement with these kids, and he built a lot of relationships, and I think it seemed to make it a little extra special. So
yeah, Roe is, obviously. I mean, he was Big Row, man. I traveled with the guy for 9 years.
Yep.
9 summers we spent together, and we had a thing that we said together that you could agree to disagree. There was a lot of times we went back and forth, and he didn't see how I saw things, and I didn't see how he saw things, but we still loved each other as brothers.
Yep.
But I think that's what made it special.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's it. I really appreciate you guys coming.
Oh yeah,
Devon, thank you for all that you've done. To put this together and make this a great day for these guys to look back in the future and see all their friends and everything else. But guys, 22 grads, man, I'm gonna miss you. Love every one of you, and way to make us all so proud, man. Thank you.